what's going on all. It's the aftermath. Romero versus Davis. Thanks for tuning in once again. Listen, before I start, I just want to say thank you for tuning in, and look forward to the comments. Look forward to the comments. I appreciate the support, and just get straight into it, man. So Davis wins by knockout in round 6. This is the round that I predicted. This is what I said in my breakdown, that Davis would beat him within 6. Reason being is because I was expecting Davis to win. Davis is a guy that's he's a very well-rounded fighter. Not only that, he's also southpaw, and he's a gifted puncher. He's got heavy hands on him. Despite having heavy hands, he's also good at moving, and he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's definitely a guy that I believe can achieve great things in boxing. You all know now he's a pay-per-view star. A lot of people are showing up to his events, and he's just very confident in the ring. Speaking of confidence, Romero wasn't confident. Romero was a guy that was too anxious to get him out. He was too you could say he was too committed. He was too committed. You got to be relaxed. You can't be too tense. And Romero done this. He was too tense. He was too committed in the power shots, and he wasn't understanding what Tank was trying to do here. Davis was trying to knock him out, as Rolly was as well. Rolly was also trying to knock out Davis, but the thing is that Davis's skills and his confidence in the ring, his elusiveness was able to be effective against Rolly. Rolly didn't know how to set up the right hand. Rolly was really good with the jab, and when you're fighting a guy like Tank that's shorter than you with shorter hands, you have to understand that your punch selection is very important. Tank being the shorter guy with the shorter hands, with the power in both hands, mind you, not just the one hand, he's got power in both hands, is going to beat you to the punch. So your punch selection has to be very well, especially when you're coming forward. This is why the taller guys usually box on the back foot. I've noticed that a lot of taller guys now are coming forward, and they really need to learn their craft going backwards. They have the height and the reach where they don't really need to chase the smaller guy. And this is what's happening a lot. They think that they're bigger, stronger, so they try to bully the smaller guy. But speed and power, you can't avoid that, especially with a guy like Tank. His speed and his power, his counter punching was good. In the first couple of rounds, I'd have to say that Rolly was very effective. Tank was getting to know him. He understood that, I can't come forward at the moment. Rolly was trying to get him out early. Rolly landed a couple of good shots in there. But then as the rounds went on, Tank found his left straight, the left hand. He started landing that crisp, started landing that clean. And it was a matter of time before he took him out. Now, Rolly made the mistake here by trying to push Tank to the ropes and not being selective with his punching. He closed the distance with the guy that's trying to close the distance with him, but he doesn't need to try because Rolly's doing all the work. Rolly's coming forward against the shorter guy, so he's walking into the danger zone. Think of the Canelo and the Bivol fight. When Bivol pushes Canelo to the ropes, he's very selective of what he's doing. He's keeping that mid-range. Rolly's failing to do this. Rolly's getting him to the ropes, and he's trying to knock him out, and Tank is reading it like a book. Tank reads the wide hook, which was a horrible punch for Rolly, you know. Like I said, Rolly was unable to find the right hand, you know. He was loading up the right hand and overthrowing it a lot of the times, you know, and the Tank was able to step back and counter him. But in this case, you know, Rolly, instead of throwing it to the top, he threw a looping right, you know, open wide hook, which Tank read like a book, you know. Tank is on the inside of Rolly's foot, and, you know, he can see any wide shots that Rolly's throwing with the right hand, you know. If Rolly was to throw the left hand, he may have been more successful, you know, but you can't make those small mistakes with the shorter guy, especially when you're committing to come that inside to the pocket, you know, and he definitely suffered the repercussions, you know, with that wide hook that Tank threw back, you know. Tank knew that Rolly was coming in with the wide hook, he could see it from a mile, and immediately he threw a left, you know, and he caught Rolly coming in with the right hand, or with the left hand, I should say, and walked straight into the punch, you know. Closed the distance with a bad selection of punch, and he paid for it, you know, with a devastating knockout, and he couldn't recover, you know. That shot was right on the button, he couldn't recover, and that was all she wrote, you know. That was all she wrote, that was it. Tank wins by knockout. Like I said, it was a matter of time. Rolly just wasn't, you know, skilled enough for Tank. His punch selection was bad, and he couldn't find the right hand, you know, where he could have just stuck with the jab. You know, a jab can go around the world in boxing. You know, a jab can do a lot in boxing. You know, you've seen this in many fights where people just win with a jab, you know, and Rolly just didn't have the discipline, too anxious, too stiff. Tank took advantage of it and knocked him out, and that's what I was expecting. You know, you're fighting a guy that can fight on the back and the front foot. Tank took advantage of that. He fought on the back foot. Rolly closed the distance with him, you know, done 3/4 of the job, and all Tank needed to do was shut up the shot, you know, and that's what he done. And that's all I need to say, man. It is the aftermath. Tank wins, devastating knockout. Leave your take on it, man. What do you think? Most importantly, man, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. I look forward to the feedback, man. Look forward to the comments. Thanks for tuning in once again. Have a great day, man. Peace. God bless. Stay safe. Have a good one.